5, 4, 3, 2.
What came after 2?
2, 1.
There you go.
Twins in Law. Welcome back. How are you, Fletch?
Man, I am fantastic. Fantastic.
We're going to talk about Wakanda.
All I want to know is one question. Why are there no black men in Wakanda?
It's what's funny is we just did a whole episode on anti-Semitism and stuff like that. And I am a heterosexual male. I'm multicultural. Yeah. I'm multicultural. I believe in treating people fairly.
Go ahead with the lesbian joke.
Well, I will do that. All right, so I'll do the lesbian joke first. So I'm watching about 2/3 of the way through Wakanda. I'm like, so Wakanda's lesbian bar in Long Beach, huh?
That's the funnier line. It's a lesbian dyke bar, huh?
Yeah, it's a lesbian dyke bar. It's a black lesbian dyke bar in Compton.
Wakanda,
Long Beach.
the continuation of the Black Panther Marvel comic thing was alive and well in November. Wakanda set all these ridiculous records, and the interesting thing about it is the Black Panther movie was extremely well respected and accepted and made a ton of money. And one of the reasons was, I believe, and it's nothing original, is that you walked out of the movie, you had to feel good. You had to feel good about yourself. You're African American, you felt good. Hispanics were walking out feeling good. Women saw the role that they played in that movie.
Little did they know it was an increasingly important role.
It was just, what do they call it? Grooming.
Oh.
It's grooming. The Wakanda Forever comes out, and I was quite honestly stunned when halfway in the movie, I was ready to leave, and I said, I got to ride this out to see what the fuck, how are you going to fix this? And you walk out of that movie, and the portrayal of black men was non-existent.
Unless they made sounds like monkeys.
Yes, the one commander who, from the first movie, challenged the Black Panther. At one point in the battle scene, has a fur on his chest and a spear, and he's pounding on his chest, and he goes, whoo, whoo, whoo.
Yeah, I was okay with the fur and the spear because that's kind of.
But what would the women have on, Mike? The most ultra modern chic,
preferably nothing.
Iron Man like.
No, but where you're going, and but the if you guys have not seen it, I watched this show, and we're from LA, and we're also just proponents of, man, we're all in this together. But what we can't allow to have happen is pitting people of color against people of color. At the end of Wakanda, I sat there and thought, that's the most racist shit I've ever seen.
Right.
Spoiler alert: he wasn't even native. I think they're most Central American. It was more Maya, but it was a South American entity group, and
Aztecs.
Yeah, but I think that's Central America.
The Aztecs?
Well, the Aztecs. Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
You don't want to argue. You don't want to argue. Jill, you don't want to argue.
You really think this? So the San Diego State Aztecs took their name out of after a country and a group.
You think the Aztec nation was in Mexico?
I think it was in Texas.
It wasn't. It
doesn't matter. Here's the
shuts down to Central America.
Here's the premise of the movie. There's
black guys here.
Black guys.
Let's go like white guys, black guys, Mexican
Wakanda
guys.
has to hide away in underneath this magical globe because they have the most amazing technology on Earth that could solve all the problems in the world, but they just don't want to interfere with the white people. We find out that there's actually a Hispanic group who have natives.
They're not Hispanic. They're Central and South America.
Okay. They're Central South America in this mythological country that he keeps trying to divide. But the idea is that the colonizers,
which is Spain. Spain has nothing to do with Central and South America.
Came to their country and were wiping out the native people, the original tribes. The white people came there. A group of the Native American originals tribes took this special medicine where they were able to then move into the water and live in the water, where they created this remarkably peaceful and resplendent country that is hidden away from the world. During the movie, the white people are constantly trying to steal what's the name of that mineral or whatever?
I don't know, but basically it's
magic.
Trying to take resources from the native population.
Take the pixie dust.
But get to the point. So
and so what happens then is that the Hispanic, the brown people go to the black people and say, hey, let's get together and kill all these people who live above the land, i.e. white people.
Which was funny because I was in the middle of it. I was like, hey, I kind of like this
So-
movie. Wait. So a bunch of white people are getting killed? Oh shit! I love it. I love it.
You know, the idea that the black people and brown people were going to work together
Yeah.
to try to fight their.
I just like the killing
'cause
all the white people.
You understand that this is a direct response to what should have happened when the people came over in the boats. If they would have stayed together and fought them, that's what they were playing for in this movie.
Well, again, it wasn't that they didn't stay together and fought them. It's because they were decimated by disease.
Right. That too. But at the end of the movie,
They actually were very coordinated in their efforts to attack.
At the end of the movie, in the middle of the movie, the brown people ask the black people, let's go kill these people who are trying to wipe us off the face of the earth.
Black people ask black people,
say-
let's go kill all the white people.
Black people say, yeah, we can't do that. And this creates a war between, of course, the white people who had made the Wakandans have to hide and the the brown people who were wiped out and had to go under the water. No. What happened? The black people and the brown people had to have a war.
Well, and as it then
More
more
got to protect the white people.
let me go more succinctly. So at the end, the Wakandans are
Black people.
The black people are united with the brown people, and they get together, and the black people and the brown people say, we're going to work together, we're going to protect you. And at the end, the Latino dude, because you can never trust Mexicans,
That's right. You can't-
says, they helped us, but that doesn't mean anything. And I'm sitting there.
Right. And what does it say? At the request of a Hispanic woman,
Oh,
the stars of the movie are the black women. The black women are in power. This,
Oh, yeah,
that.
that's a
Well,
good
in the
point.
Hispanic community, then the brown community, this woman says, basically, I can't believe you're trusting them. And the head brown guy says, we're just going to wait for the white people to attack them, and then they'll be weaker, and then we'll get them.
Right. And I'm watching this and I'm just like, that is the most, I mean, that shit's from like the 1960s. Oh, we'll get them. And what's crazy is there was such an empowering message relative to, I loved how they focused on the Aztec and the Mayan civilization, which are
Fascinating.
fascinating, incredible. It was powerful. It wasn't this we're slaves.
Speedy Gonzalez.
It wasn't Speedy Gonzalez.
So there could be brown people that have
Extraordinary,
temples
dude. One of
and
my favorite
science.
books in the world is 1491, and they talk about that when the Europeans came to America, the Native Americans thought they were short and dirty and pockmarked.
Right.
And it's also, by the way, that there was a Spanish priest who had taken notes as they were going through Central America and South America, and he's writing about these cities
This
with
is so uninteresting to everybody.
just to you. There were cities in Brazil, in the Amazon, with 1 million people, and all the white people said, that's impossible. Can it be? Turns out it was 100% true and accurate. So what I liked about it, even though it's boring, is that what you had in this movie was this depiction of Native Americans, whether it's from Central America, South America, in this powerful, historically accurate context, and then Africans in that same manner. And then, but at the end, you say that, oh, you can't trust Mexicans, and we're going to trick the black people, and the black people are too dumb. And then you have the white guy sitting there, oh, we're just here trying to help you all.
And here's the funniest part about this movie to me. Every movie has to get greenlit. And to get greenlit, it means we're going to get the money, we're going to get the distribution, we're going to get everything. That means they had meeting after meeting after meeting, script rewrite after script rewrite, and they came to the conclusion that, you know what would be a really fucking great movie? If we make the black people and the brown people have a fucking war at the behest of a white guy, and we really pit the brown woman against the black woman because she can't trust him. And you know what a group of people said? I love it.
I love it. I love it. Now, ironically, this kind of what segued into our last episode. And here's what, and I'm going to shit on black men right now, I guess, is that the producer of Wakanda, how was it?
What is that?
Wakanda?
Wakanda
That's the
forever?
Southern version. That's the Georgia version.
That's the way I'm saying it.
That's what I'm saying.
My black churches.
The producer of
Director, the writer, the screenplay.
was an African American dude, and I'm sitting there and I'm watching it, and I'm like, How do you come to that conclusion? How do you, and the portrayal, this is what's fucked up. This is where black men are, I'm trying to help you, brothers. This is fucked up.
King of all blacks, man.
Man, dude, I'm the king of just pointing out basic shit where your lead character in your show about Africans is a dude who makes gorilla sounds, and he's the only one who's, I guess, apparently heterosexual.
Right.
And then what you have is that he's belittled, and then you have this garish, racist, can't trust brown people and can't trust black people, and we gotta have white people. And it's a black producer and writer that wrote it.
Let's make that fucking movie.
He says, I think it's great.
Because when you talk about these Gen Zers, these motherfuckers don't do racism, they don't do sexism, they don't do anything.
Yeah,
You're telling me a group of 25 to 45-year-old black men sat down and said, you know, it'd be really good if we completely take out, and understand, Black Panther was a man. He was a person. He was a human being.
It's not now.
And not anymore. And
So
literally,
Black Panther's a black lesbian. Huh?
literally, they
It's
took
funny.
every black man of any
rid
significance
of
out of the fucking movie. And the greatest fucking aspect of it to me was when the queen, who's now ruling Wakanda because her son has died, when she has to find out some information.
Cause white guy.
Yeah, you know they have the most technologically advanced country in the history of the made-up world, but she has to go in her magic plane, fly through the magic screen, and go sit down with a white guy who works for the FBI to get the information.
Yeah, CIA, isn't it? I thought.
Okay, there's a difference.
Well, yes. But anyway, but the part
I
that
was wondering if maybe you could give us information to save our life, and then at
I
the
was-
end of the movie, after
it was the weakest.
Wakanda had almost been wiped out by the brown people and everything had been destroyed, but they're able to battle back. The general of the entire fucking Wakandan army, who has been restored to her rightful role as the queen lesbian of the fucking country. Do you know what she does? She's got to jump in their special fucking plane, go through the special fucking screen, and you got to go save the white guy.
There's all that, but the other part. But if you look
Not
at
from death, but he's being taken to jail for giving away government secrets to the black people.
which, by the way, was the greatest made-up part that a white guy is going to prison. A fucking white guy?
Please, for doing something to a black motherfucker? Jesus
No,
Christ.
they were giving him an award. But the craziest thing, and not to
Wait
be
a minute. You don't find it crazy that the liberator, the first person that this big, strong, black, powerful woman had to liberate from prison was a white man?
Let me ask you this though: how many times?
Let's make that movie.
How many times did you look at Angela Bassett and go, "I'd bang her"?
Angela Bassett could get it.
I mean, she's like 70,
Spectacular.
dude. I was like,
My wife
damn.
was sitting there. She said, "Man, look at those arms."
I
And I
didn't know
I
she.
said, "Thank you, baby."
I didn't know she had any arms. But
she
she's
said, "I wasn't
beautiful.
talking to you."
Oh.
But the classic nature of this, of the racism, it's the movie Birth of a Nation. You know, the first major movie is kill all the black people, all that shit. And like, we have graduated.
That's where they go with this one.
We've graduated fucking from Birth of a Nation to a movie
But we
that
really
does
have-
not have, hold on, a single black man of any substance other than one who pounds his chest and makes monkey sounds
Gorilla
with
sounds.
a queen of Africa who has to go to the white man to ask them for help. And they all agreed that these black and brown people have to fight each other because they can't be fucking trusted to work together. And not one motherfucker from the NAACP, the FDLA, the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, not one fucking person who's jumping up and down said, that's some racist shit.
Well, and that's one of the things I was.
Let's make that movie.
That bothered me about this is we have every Jewish organization in the world attacking Dave Chappelle for making a
Kyrie Irving.
for attacking Dave Chappelle for making a factual statement about the percentage of ownership of Jewish people in Hollywood, and not one word was said about this horrific stereotype of you can't trust Central and South Americans. Black people are foolish. Black men are apes. Black men are non-existent, and all the black community is going to be taken over by lesbians. But let me finish. But and again, I don't want to. I know Donald Trump. None of that. But this whole. If you ever wanted to have a moment where some Republicans had something right, this portrayal of Hollywood as being Jewish people and homosexual people and effeminate black men, it's in that movie.
Well, what's funny?
It's in that movie.
Since we're doing the Donald Trump shit, it's like he said, black people vote for me. What do you have to lose? I mean, literally, it's a pretty good fucking argument because you sit there and you watch this movie and you go like, let me tell you this.
But this was the black dude that wrote it. The black dude was... God, it's
brainwashing fucking works. There are racist ass black people, racist ass Jewish motherfuckers. And if that dude who had...
Is it Ryan Coogler? Is that his name?
Something like that. You know what his name is? It starts with, it's back to our first part, Uncle fucking Tom. Because you sat down and you wrote a goddamn movie. So you sat down and wrote or allowed your name to be attached
you're the advocate of Judaism in Hollywood. What's crazy to me is...
King of all Jews.
I know, but I know there's Jewish motherfuckers in Hollywood who said, yeah, this is fucked up.
But the problem is,
here's
one of the issues that they had. Because it's attached to a black person, people.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
If a Jewish person, and it goes back to what
a Jewish person should say, "Hey, fuck you." That's the craziest shit I've ever heard, man.
There are people who are afraid to attack a Jewish person, like Jon Stewart's getting dragged through over the coals because he says Chappelle's not an anti-Semite, and you can't question it because they have certain Jewish people they can go to and talk to. I think everyone's afraid, and that's what Stewart was talking about. You guys got to bring this shit in open because I really, truly believe the black people I know in Hollywood, the very, very wealthy people, they are in bed with the white people. There's this Hollywood group.
Yeah, by the way.
Who literally no one had the balls to say, that's some racist shit, man. And there's this tremendous amount of gay people and the Me Too generation and all that shit, and no one said, guys, you have a black man in a fucking loincloth with fur on his chest, jumping around, pounding his chest, and going, ooh, ooh, ooh.
It's the craziest shit you've
ever
seen.
And no one said, if we thought that, we should be ashamed. And someone said, let's make that movie.
Dude, I'm sitting in the movie theater, and they're doing some of this shit, and I'm fucking cracking up. I'm like,
it's
anyone else getting this shit over here? And I swear to God, with the Black Panther, I was just like, you know what? Again, and I'll say this a million times, I wish I'm 100% pro gay person, 1,000%. I wish I'm going to do this whole bit on
how gay it sounds every time you say you have
that's just
friends.
You. No, that's just you looking to be negative. What I'm saying.
What's negative about you being gay?
Well, I'm not gay. Oh. But what I keep saying is that
you hate gay people.
No, I love gay people. That's my point. Is if you are truly heterosexual, you love gay men. Because
why?
Because those motherfuckers are in shape, they're well dressed, they got all this shit, and they look better than you. That's why you love gay guys.
I thought you would like gay guys because that would leave far more women,
right?
So you could have sex with.
Yeah, you missed the whole.
Oh, and you're taking off the handsome, beautiful ones, so it's even more likely that you'll get some pussy,
right?
Because the odds wouldn't be great enough on your side if all fucking men were gay except for you.
Well, but it's the same. It's the same group that you're
piling on, bro.
No, you're just missing the point. But the point of that, and I got this whole joke about, and that is truly, no, I'm telling you, is the guys there's these dudes that hate gay dudes. And I'm like, that's because you're gay. Because if you're heterosexual, you wouldn't hate gay guys. They're on your side, motherfucker.
So, but let me say this.
But the point is that it's still like, you're watching this show and you're like, everyone in this show is gay. All black people are, and power to the sisters and all that. But the fact of the matter is there's no scenario in which gay women run the entire country unless it's black men. And again, and I'm not, it's just with brother, it's like no one said, man, this really makes black men look stupid.
And I'll tell you,
it does make black men look stupid.
Incredibly sexist, racist aspect of this is that do
you think it's sexist racism or is it just stupidity?
Hold on, it may be all.
Because there has to be intent behind that, right?
To argue that black women are not an integral and meaning, I'm not saying you're saying this. Listen, before you lose your fucking mind. To say that they're not a large part, the backbone of African-American community and that Hispanic women, they aren't running, they're the backbones of their communities. You took both black women and brown women and pitted them together in a fucking holy war.
That's just another racist thing.
Hold on. And no one fucking said, you can't do that.
Well, but
you shouldn't do that.
Well,
because comparing to movie number one, when
Well,
our
let me just say,
when
related- but related to that
when
point,
our
too-
black and our brown kids walked out of movie number one, like I can be Black Panther, I can do this. White kids were dressed as Black Panther in Halloween. When black and brown kids walked out of this fucking movie, they had to say, black people are my enemy, brown people are my enemy, and we have to fight. And not one motherfucker said, that's wrong.
I agree. And here's what's crazy too, particularly when you look at what happened at LA City Council and shit like that. It's amazing. It's just amazing to me that no one said, I don't think we should pit Native Americans from South and Central America against Africans. I think that is a bad idea, particularly since we're doing it prospectively. This isn't going to be the end of Black Panther. So prospectively, what Ryan Coogler and the group said is, hey, let's pit Central American and South Americans against Africans. Projecting forward. It's just, and no one said, hey, that's fucked up. Well, I don't want to do that.
And one of the things
I don't think that's a good, I don't think that's a good idea, sir.
Yeah, because that's exactly what they did. And again, it was greenlit. They've got
by multiple people.
The next movie is the white people have to attack the black people.
It's
and
crazy.
then the Mexicans or the brown people are going to attack them. And someone said, that's a wonderful idea. But when you have kids leaving a movie and they have to look at their black and brown friends differently, because it's a crazy fucking idea. Kids believe that fucking movie is important.
It's crazy.
And literally, you sit there and not one person, and every black person, it's like when every black person in the NFL Players Association agreed with the race norming when they said black football players get less money.
Well, I read the study on it. They said I read the same. They said none of them read it.
Right. So none of them read it. And got it because of the race norming. No one said the head of the Players Association.
What was your line? You want to hide it from him? Put it in the book.
Anything you want to hide from a black or brown motherfucker, hide it in the book. Never find it.
It's
unknowable,
painful. But back to what you're saying. It's important.
So we've gone from this wonderful movie and portrayal with Mr. Bozeman dying of cancer, but it's so important to him to finish this movie. He's literally dying of cancer because it was that important. To now we have a movie that is simply, blood in, blood out. Every fucking gang movie you've ever fucking
felt
seen.
like a prison
because
movie.
The two things that black and brown people got to do: can't talk, gotta fight, gotta fight each other.
It felt like a prison movie at some level. And what's amazing to me though is, this goes to my point about the increased anti-Semitism and all this. If we deal with factual issues, then you can move forward. And again, the way that the Hollywood thing is fixed is Jewish people do run Hollywood, and that's fucking.
Well, let's talk about.
Well, let me finish. That's a big deal, and it's important. Let's not lie about it. It's great. Let's just fix it. The way that this system is because we can't talk factual truths. Someone doesn't say, yeah, you can't be pitting Mexicans and black people against each other, particularly in LA, because it's negative moving forward. If we would start factually looking at things, going, wait, if the Jewish guy back would have said, excuse me, this is a fucking crazy idea. And they're motherfuckers that, like my friend Randy Friedman, who's in Hollywood. I guarantee you there's plenty of Jewish people going, are you fucking crazy?
But that kind of gets to the problem. We have this group of people who are the in crowd, whether it be the Jewish people or black people. There's a group in Hollywood you have to acknowledge. Coogler is a big motherfucking deal. After Black Panther, he could do anything he wants.
Oh, I agree.
And he's and nobody will speak.
I agree that it is a Hollywood issue, potentially.
And I don't know if Coogler's gay. I don't know what the fuck he is, but I can tell you this:
he's a light-skinned brother, though. You can tell.
Is he a club member?
I don't want to say that because I feel like he might be.
Right. So
and I don't want to.
The funniest
club member's multicultural.
The funniest aspect of this cat is that at some point in time, his view of black men
that's fucking right.
Very fucking good, bro.
It's fucking crazy. And here's my point.
You had to have known one black guy.
But let me tell you this. This is the thing, though.
Wait, what Donald Trump said about Mexicans when he gave his speech: the rapists, the robbers, the drug dealers, and there's some good ones out there. I assume, which means I've never met one, but I'm assuming they're out there. Coogler, whoever did this movie, no one said you don't have one black man in this movie who is admirable. You don't have one black man in this movie who is self-sufficient. You don't have one black man in this movie who is capable of leadership.
Well, not only that is that you've taken a premise.
They're talking about the fucking NBA.
But wait a minute, you're talking about a premise which is Africans are the intellectual elites, and then you have this amazing Central American intellectual elites, and you have Caucasian intellectual elites, and they still couldn't say, hey, maybe we could all work this out in a powerful, meaningful way.
Right.
No, let's make them all let's make them all untrusting and unbelievable and make them fight.
So you're going to make them animalistic,
right.
and inability to think reasonably and logically.
Well, here's the thing, and what was the craziest thing about this, and it really came down to this, the fact that this passed in Hollywood.
It was greenlit multiple times.
That's the point that is so meaningful and disturbing is no one in that group of fucking brilliant people said, I'm not, as God is my witness. If it would have been, you know what they could have done? You know who we could say you can't trust? Let's make the Central American Jews. You can't trust Jews. Guess what? We did that in the 60s and the 70s. Well, let's say this. Let's make it the black people. You can't trust the black people. Well, we did that in the 80s and 90s. So what do? You can't trust the Central Americans. As opposed to saying, well, we have, theoretical differences. It comes down to and it projects this racial animosity move forward. And what you say about kids is important. There are black and brown kids playing in LA right now saying we're tricking you. Well, and that was put forward by adults.
Look at the portrayal of the underwater king, the Hispanic indigenous king. Now he's a bitch because he got beaten up and he had to bend down and bend the knee to a black woman. And then his woman comes home and says, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
And he says, well, I'm going to wait for the white man to get him, and then I'm going to attack him. So if you're a Hispanic young man and you go to that movie, you're coming out, motherfucker, feeling good about yourself?
And that's what's so unfortunate. Is,
let's make that movie.
But here's the thing is, these are all topics that you can end up with everyone feeling great. Man, dude, that is a powerful Central American leader. That's a powerful, and they came together, and we had these differences, and we're going to work together in the future.
Right.
I think.
But
instead, they're saying, no, let's inject some blatant racism in there.
The group of people who proposed it, greenlit it, said it's okay, we've got everything lined up. Literally, brainwashing works. They're just as fucking racist as the other motherfucker, but you can't tell me, I don't give a fuck if you've been to 10 million synagogues, churches, black, brown, yellow, red, that when you, motherfucker, sat down and said, we are going to make the Hispanic man a thug who gets beat up and then comes back and attacks people when they're weak. And you're going to cut out all the black men except for a guy in a loincloth and a fur. And you're going to cut out, there are no heterosexual, there are no marriages at all. You can't fucking tell me that someone didn't say, that's not a really good idea.
Or, and again, it's back to, apparently not. But it was, to me, it was so.
Apparently not.
Well, but it was, I'm watching this and I want to like it and I want to think it's good. But the messages it's portraying, and again, I marry who the fuck you want. If you're stupid enough, if you're gay and you want to marry another gay person and you're stupid enough to go ahead. Right. I don't give a shit. But suggesting that all heterosexual relationships don't exist. It's discriminatory.
We're talking about Hollywood.
It's discriminatory. Though. I mean, I'm just like, no. And again,
you covet what you see every day.
Yeah. and what sucks, here's the
Silence
worst.
Of the Lambs.
Wait, but the worst part of that though they had some fine sisters in there, and you didn't know who you could really dig.
The other funny thing.
I mean, you're like, oh, she's a lesbian.
The other funny thing about this shit is coming from people of color, is it's like they cut out all the fat people. There wasn't a fat motherfucker in that movie. There wasn't a married motherfucker in that movie. Everybody worked out the generous use of oil on your skin to make it glow. Carrie Champion, shout out there, was impressive. And I can't believe no one said, man, this is going to come off really sexualized. It's like Brad Pitt and
But
Troy.
It wasn't sexualized. It was sexualized. And again, I don't know how lesbians feel about sexuality. But from a dude's perspective, No, I just don't know what is attractive
Let me
to a
explain this
lesbian
to you.
woman. I'm saying for my
Lesbians, their sexuality is they're attracted to other women.
yeah, but I don't understand how because
Because you're not a woman and you're not
exactly. But I am a heterosexual. I'm watching this movie,
Perfect
and again, I'm watching it going. Well, I think I should like this chick, but she's a lesbian, so I guess I can't like her.
You can
But
like her fine. She's not gonna like you.
oh, it's like being married.
Ta-da.
Twins in Law. Thank you guys.
Thank you,
We
guys.
appreciate it.